Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be taking a look at VOX, and hopefully I'll prevent some of you from getting bamboozled. Now there is the whole special 3 issue, which I may or may not do a separate video on as well, but we will still cover it at end of this video. But for the intent and purposes of the initial part of this video, we're going to pretend that VOX's special 3 does not exist. And it is very important to remember that I am not trying to cause controversy here when I'm going to be pointing some examples. I'm absolutely not trying to throw shade, because there are often and always people who like to see the best in the champions and praise them for anything that they can do, and always want to put the, this champion is amazing, even if they're not. Or objectively, they're just mediocre. Because the way I view champions is that champions are in competition for our time, for our resources, for our attention. I do not view them from the point of, if you don't have any other champion on your account, will you be able to do this or that quest with it? I'm viewing them much more from the point of view where, if you do have choice in between most of the champions, or a large part of the champions, where does this champion rank in terms of like either usefulness or priority? And that said, VOX so far, again, it's also important not to draw final conclusions of the champion, because ultimately none of us know exactly how well or poorly these champions will integrate themselves in the game. Whether there will be a ton of content designed for them, or a lot of battlegrounds metas that they will shine in, or a lot of alliance war metas that they might be good for, and all of that is still up in there. But what we can do is judge these champions objectively in like their base damage output, how they compare to other champions, base utilities, and some other stuff. And in today's video, that is exactly what I'm going to be doing. We're going to be comparing VOX, a champion that has warranted titles like absolutely insane new Legion god of MCOC, to a Silver Surfer, who may or may not have had similar thumbnails when he came out, but I do think that ever since Silver Surfer has come out in the contest, nobody calls him a damage god of anything. For a really long time, he had a nickname of Silver Lemon, because he was, looked at as a very, very middle-of-the-pack mediocre champion, damage-wise and otherwise. So, let's take a look at the VOX. And it is, fair disclaimer, I'm not the most experienced VOX player. There is a possibility that there is some sort of secret magic trick, or I could have just played better. I will make a couple of mistakes in these videos. But let's see how VOX deals with Winter Soldier and then Captain Marvel, because that is the first point. Presenting VOX just in these Winter Soldier fights is also not exactly accurate, and the reason is here, because whenever you dex Winter Soldiers level 1, you can get 2 to 3 precisions, and that does significantly improve your damage output. Basically what I'm trying to say, because you get more degens. So his rotation is fairly simple. You do like medium, light, medium combos, and then you drop your special attack, which will remove all of your buffs from you, and then will put degens on the opponent. Every single tick those degens are on the opponent, you do more damage. And then ideally, you do want to throw your level 2 just before those degens expire. That can be a very dangerous game. Maximize on the damage, and then basically rinse and repeat. So one special attack places the degens, second special attack removes them, and over the course of the fight, you gain more buffs, so the degen amount also goes up until the maximum of your 50-something, typically. You can realistically get like 50 plus degens at like a max ramp up rotation, and that is your upper limit. So this is a 5-star SIG 200 VOX, or was it SIG 180 when I recorded this? Close to max SIG VOX, by the way, just so we are clear here. And here again, I'm going to go for level 2, getting the maximum amount of degens here. And we are attacking, so every time my scythe connects with Winter Soldier, we are further increasing the degen damage as well. And here I just want to make sure that I drop that level 2 without wasting those. And the degen numbers are nice. They're not bad. They are not too bad. And now the last 10%, I basically just need to throw level 1, and the degens can take care of everything. for most part. As we can see, the hit damage is not too impressive though, but he's calibrated around degens. And here the degens are going to town. So how long did this fight lasted? Is the key question here, right? We're gonna stop and pay attention. This one was 2 minutes and 6 seconds, and it was pretty much perfect in terms of damage rotation. And here against CMM, I'm gonna be like even more aggressive, and I think I'll manage to do it just slightly better. So against CMM, similar situation. Here are my 53 degens from my level 1. I do squeeze it in, and I think this one is actually slightly faster. This is 156. So 156 against CMM, and somehow against Winter Soldier, maybe it just kind of worked out that I was a bit slower. It was 206. Now let's compare it to Silver Surfer. Now the Silver Surfer is definitely not a long form champion. Silver Surfer does not excel in these type of fights. Silver Surfer reaches his maximum damage very quickly and then plateaus there, unlike VOX. So VOX should have the matchup advantage here easily, because again, he is more of a ramp-up character. He has higher ramp-up ceiling that requires, longer investment than Silver Surfer does. And yeah, so in these type of fights, especially when you're comparing 5 stars, VOX should have major advantage if he is a degen insane god. And here, well, long story short, I think this fight he did slightly faster by 6 seconds. So it's basically the same. Pretty much the same. And then looking at CMM, we're gonna go and do Silver Surfer against CMM. Again, we're gonna go for level 3 rotation because this is slightly longer fight. And in that CMM fight, that was like 150 something, 154 I think, 151. So Silver Surfer in this fight, even over 2. So they're basically the same. So this immediately already takes away the idea that VOX is a damage god. Realistically, potentially for even longer fights, sure, maybe in Labyrinth or Abyss, something like that. But again, if a champion is only designed to shine in Labyrinth or Abyss, then we all would have loved the first version of Shuri, and there would have been no need for rebalance, because even before rebalance, Shuri was very good for Abyss and Labyrinth fights. Alright, so let's jump to the next idea. So here we go. This is a perfect representation here of a Balagon's health pool. It is 157k, which is on the smaller side, but this is a 5-star. So this could easily be kind of like amped up on, here is the Deadpool one. So this would be a perfect representation of Balagon's level 5, especially considering we're using 5-star for it. If it would be using like a 6-star rank 3, then we could say this is like a bit too short for Balagon's fight or something. Here we go. So again, the same idea. Just do our medium light mediums, very straightforward fight, which would give us advantage. Very, very easy to play against Deadpool. No special attacks that we can easily dex out from. Here we activate our first level 1. We got the 16 degens. And now again, we need to kind of be quite careful to make sure that we do not let these expire. That is kind of like the edgy, tricky thing with VOX, where you do need to plan for these things and make sure that you are in the middle of your combo, basically, as your degens would expire. It's kind of like managing Bane in a sense. And here we have Deadpool at 21% health, and now I just need to build up. And he gets his regen, but the power is low, it doesn't matter much. The point is, we didn't quite kill him in the first loop. We need to go for the second one. The second one will definitely be more than enough. And there we go. So that's one dead Deadpool. How long did this fight take? 1 minute and 5. Okay, so we're going to go to Venom the Duck, and this first fight I'm going to mess up. Well, I kind of had to mess up in this first fight, where I end up pushing him red. But, it happens. He didn't really want to throw a special attack. That's fine. So we just randomly lost connection. Let's go to that Venom the Duck fight here again, and let's see how well VOX does in slightly longer health pool, where again, he should have the advantage. And let's see. So we're building up again as normal medium light mediums. Perfectly fine. Or medium light mediums. Sweet. Ideally, we want Venom the Duck to throw a special attack. But if he doesn't, we're still ramping up. So that's kind of the neater thing, especially initially, because you can get these Travis working for you. Then I just decided to push him to level 2 anyways. But we did get 5 extra buffs. So 5 extra degens in our first cycle, which is definitely helpful. So now we're baiting out that level 2. Sweet. And now again, he uses his level 1. And I'm going to have like pretty much a perfect cut of those degens. So we do as much damage as we could with them. We did get the pause in. We did get everything else in. And now I just need to finish the job. So I'm going to activate the level 1. I am near 1 bar of powers again. And I just basically need to make sure that, well, those degens do finish the work. You know, I'm still going to attack him to make sure that I can do it kind of like as well as possible. So here we go. So Venom the Duck goes down in 107. So it was like 105, 104, and 107. And let's see, Silver Surfer, again, far from the highest damage output Cosmic Champion, far from the most rapid champion. And let's see just how Silver Surfer does. So again, we started with our heavy attack, which is quite neat. We're going to get to our level 1, get the double furies on, and then basically level 2. And that increased combat power rate is quite nice to have. So here we go. Deadpool gets his level 2 in the neck. And now we're basically ramped up. I mean, ideally, we do get that armor up for more burst on our level 2, which is what I'm going to be going for as well. So here we go. Use that special. He doesn't want to use special. That's fine. I think I missed like a hit of my level 2 there as well, but you know, we still have our unblockable. We have 3 debuffs that still mitigate the Deadpool's regen to a degree as well. And yeah, this level 2 is going to be massive overkill here as well, especially with that final crit. And this fight is 51 seconds. So again, that's, you know, noticeably faster in shorter fights than VOX. And again, Silver Surfer is not the oh my god insane damage beyond god tier champion, but VOX apparently is. Okay, and let's move on to the next one. And Venom the Duck again. This is a larger health pool. The difference here should be smaller. Potentially VOX should be even faster, right? Because again, bigger health pools should give VOX the advantage because VOX does have longer ramp up and higher damage ceiling theory. So let's go. Let's go. Show me the money. Silver Lemon. Show me who's who. Okay. We go for a full combo. Sweet. Gonna go for heavy attack. Connect that. Quite happy with it. Gonna go for level 2 now. Nothing crits on it, so you know damage could have been better, but we still have plenty of guaranteed damage of those bursts. And we are gonna be back at another level 2 in just a second, which basically is gonna be enough. So here we go. And that is, again, not enough. Perfectly fine. 5 stars. And this is 59 seconds. The difference is slightly smaller, without a doubt. But Silver Surfer is still faster. And again, this is a very accurate kind of like Battlegrounds Alliance War health pool comparison situation. So here we are with them. And that is the truth of it. Now, I do not want to make a dig at anybody being excited for a new champion. We all have that natural inclination that, you know, new and shiny is better than old and whatever else. And we often don't make that logical step back and actually think about it. Obviously, VOX is a different champion with, you know, different sets of immunities than Silver Surfer, for instance. Silver Surfer is pseudo-immune to Shock, Cold Snap, Incinerate, which is useful and it counts for quite a lot. VOX has poison immunity and is basically immune to power manipulation shenanigans. Also good. Both will have their place and time. Silver Surfer primarily does hit damage. VOX primarily does degen damage, for sure. Both they have the buffs, and obviously VOX has some things that Silver Surfer doesn't, and vice versa. And again, ultimately, we will see which one of those champions is more useful, because that is largely dictated by the needs of the game. Whatever Alliance War meta we're going to have, whatever Battlegrounds metas we're going to have, whatever Alliance Quest updated nodes we're going to get, whatever is needed in new variants or challenge modes and stuff. Not disputing that. You know, who knows? Maybe VOX is going to be more useful than Silver Surfer. Maybe Silver Surfer is going to be more useful than VOX once he actually settles in the game. What I will, however, say that I do think it is extremely inaccurate, misleading, bad practice to go with like, oh my god, beyond god, damage on pretty much anything that comes out new. Because again, very simple comparison. Silver Surfer, is, in nobody's mind, is an insane damage powerhouse. Now that's CGR, that's Hercules, that's, I don't know, Sunspot, or so on and so forth. Nobody would ever think of putting Silver Surfer as insane, beyond God, champion. But we do that with VOX, and we do that because he's new. When realistically, doesn't just quite stack up. And now, the final point that I'll quickly address is something also that I saw in another one of the CCP videos showcasing VOX and him throwing like a 500k special 3, something like that. And even that situation, unfortunately, is inaccurate because, well, surprise, surprise, he was bugged, which is yet another completely different story about misrepresentation of champions and whatnot. But he used to have that attack bonus listed 10 times larger than it actually is, which resulted in approximately 10 times more damage than it is. Just like as in a showcase here for the VOX, he doesn't have those 500k special 3s or something, because that was one of the arguments when I brought up Silver Surfer and VOX comparison on the morning stream. One of the first rebuttals was, well, Silver Surfer doesn't have 500k level 3s or something. Well, neither does VOX. And it's not like you can just build to that level 3 and do that damage either. Because you do need your intensifies, and you can only get those intensifies after you do at least one cycle of degens. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to have 21 of my intensify buffs, which is not the max, but it is over 2/3. And I do have plenty of other buffs. We can see that I have 10 Furies, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of Cruelties as well. So I have plenty of buffs active here. And we're going to activate at level 3, and that actual level 3 damage is 54k. And don't get me wrong, that is not a bad level 3 damage. But it's nothing insane either. So that whole level 3 special attack mega damage thing is just a bug, yet again. Surprise, surprise. Bug champion released and made it somehow to the videos of CCP showcasing this champion. And this is where we are. And again, to be clear, just so there are no misunderstanding. I do not blame anybody for being excited for new champion. Great. I am too. Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't think it's a good way to go about things when it goes like insane damage god and stuff like that. When it turns out it's just perfectly average. I don't think VOX damage out is bad. I don't think he's a bad champion, because of it necessarily. I think that, again, time will tell whether how good or bad he really is. From first impressions, definitely not the way how I'd characterize him. He can't really outdamage Silver Surfer in the fights. And when it comes to his utility, again, I don't think there's that much in it. Like, he has Undermine and Vigilance. Cool, Silver Surfer has Vigilance as well that he can easily maintain. And Undermine is, fairly niche thing, but, it's good to have. But Gore has it, and hasn't been like a massive thing for Gore, for instance. Here we are. Just be careful. Don't be bamboozled. And if you like the champion, again, remember, this is a game. You should love the champion. You should look for positives in it and all the other good things. But also, be honest about it. Be realistic. And truth is that, again, somebody's going to make an argument somewhere. You played Silver Surfer better than you played VOX or something like that. Yeah, maybe. Even if even if I played VOX. First of all, I think I played VOX perfectly fine. Second of all, even if there is a little bit of a difference in user input and the quality, the results wouldn't be much different. At the best, you could say that VOX has the damage output of Silver Surfer. Realistically, you will probably say that Silver Surfer has more damage. But here we are. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. Bye! Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about